Okay, okay, we'll be live very soon. Okay, okay, we'll be live very soon. All right. Good evening, everyone. Please, if we can hear me, let's just drop a message into the chat box if, to confirm if I'm audible. Please, let's confirm if I'm audible. All right. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm if we can hear me and if I'm audible enough. Please, let's just drop something into the chat box before I commence. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining today's class. So it's promised to be exciting and really excited as well to just make sure that we all, we get the absolute what's it called knowledge that we actually came, in for. So I will just commence to just give us an overview of what we'll be covering tonight. So firstly is that so again we're taking a walk through Canva, and then after then we can progress into um, and AI. So I'll be walking us through ChatGPT and also Gemini. So Gemini is bad. It's actually it was called bad before. It was now named by Google. So it's a product from Google. So the name was bad before. So it's now Gemini. So I'll be walking us through how we can be able to get started using it as well as Bing. So Bing is what we can currently see on my screen now. So this is Bing. So it's actually from Microsoft. So these are parts of which we'll be covering. So let's just get started with Canva. All right. So first thing that when you enter Canva, right? So this is what you actually get to. Because number one, right? So I guess let me just sign out from my account so I can just show us what you are likely to see if you are starting out. So first thing is that once you go to canva.com, so canva.com, I'll be dropping a note for us in the chat so that we can be able to just, I know most of us are already using Canva, while some of us are just getting started with it. So now, so once you join, you just open Canva, right? You can just continue with Google, or if you want to continue another way. So I always like to just use my account to just continue using my Google. So I already have it here, so I'll just click on my name here. So once I sign, because I've already signed up, right? So I can just we continue with Google now. So it's going to bring out and what's it called? Your Google mails that you've already signed in before. So you can just choose and what's it called? Your account that you want to use to sign up if you have not signed up before, or if you've signed up before, then you can just continue to just sign in. So I'll be going with my and what's it called with my accounts because there are a lot of things I've done, so we can be able to just catch up and then sign into Canva, continue here. So that we can just be able to catch up with something. So it's going to be brief and up to the point, and we can be able to catch everything that we ought need. So first is that once you actually log into Canva, so you first see the what's it called, the top menu, right? You can see design spotlight, you have business, so this just covered some things that you can do basically do on Canva, right? So business, education plans, and learn. So right now we'll be focusing on this left hand side. We have the home, we have the Magic Studio, we have projects, we have templates, we have brand, and we have apps. So for this course, I'm using the Canva free app. So because the reason why I'm currently using this Canva free is that I want to show us that you can do a whole lot of things with even Canva free before you can decide that okay, let me just go ahead to go for the premium course. There are some things that you'll be able to access in premiums, like the AI generation, the and what's it called, I guess there's already something like ChatGPT in built into Canva as well. So there are a whole lot of things like background remover. There's one that is free, but the accuracy is not something that's probably so strong like that, but we'll be taking a look at that. So first thing is that I will comment. So this project part is what you have. So when you click on this project, right, you'll be able to see your past works if you have done anything on Canva before. So it's currently coming up. So you can actually create folder. All right, to just stay organized, you can create a folder, you can enter into your designs, you can enter images, probably images you've uploaded, your designs, and then you can be able to see your designs, videos you've imported before. So this place actually covers, so I'm viewing the all. So you have some sections here you can play around with and then see. So these are past design that I've actually done on Canva. So, but I'm going to enter into, if you enter template, right? So this is part where you get to see some templates that you can actually start using on Canva. So firstly, I want to just, get us to use templates because I want it to be brief and straight to the point. I don't want to just beat around the bush. I want us to, you know, um, get to the point of the core elements of Canva. So Canva, it's as a designer, right? Because I use a whole lot of tools, right? Probably I should just start from there. So I use Photoshop, I use CorelDRAW, I use Illustrator. I use a whole lot of tools in terms of my workflow. But as far as Canva is concerned, I always love to use Canva. For instance, I want to give probably a template to a client, right? Let's say I actually work on a brand document, and then probably I need them to be making edits, and I don't want them to be coming back to me to make the edit for them. I know Canva is an open source, so you can just be able to, you know, make use of Canva yourself. What you just need to do is to get the template, share the template with you, edit the template yourself, and then you don't need to disturb me. So that's fun. Unlike when you have to use, let's say, Photoshop or Illustrator or CorelDRAW. So that means that the person has to install Photoshop or the software you are sharing the file in to be able to edit, which can be quite tedious, and not everyone will be able to adapt or be able to use the software you are using. So for Canva, for me, right, it's something I can easily go to just make some quick designs and then just get done with it. I want to share templates with clients, I can do that. So Canva is just too sweet. And the major part at which I even like Canva the most is the part of alignment. And this is where, if you are just starting out as a beginner designer with Canva, it's going to be quite interesting because it has already simplified your design, so you don't need to worry so much about alignment. You don't need to worry so much about, is this thing actually centralized, because that is part of the key elements of design. If you are designing and then your design is not in alignment, trust me, it will be easily identified that this design is not okay or there's something wrong with the design. And our eyes are quick to pick up any wrongs in any design. You might not be a professional designer, you might not be top rated designer, but you know that something is definitely wrong with this design. So this key elements are part of what we have to make sure that we actually are focusing on. So now I'm going to be making use of a template. So firstly is that now if I actually go back to home, so I'm going to click on this home. From this home, you can see that you can search any template that you want. So you can see for you have docs, you have whiteboards, you have presentations, you have social media. So for this case, I just want to search. Let me just say I want to make a social media design. So let me just search social media. So let me just say social media probably. So it's going to give me a what's it called sequence of ready-made templates which I can customize to suit my own taste, right? So the file is currently opening. So it's coming up. Let me try. Okay, I'm coming. Let me go back to home again. I guess. Hope it's not my network. Okay, let me say I want to work something for Instagram, so I can just search Instagram in this search bar here. Instagram. I don't know why it's not loading up. I hope it's not. Okay. So now when you search this Instagram now, so if I click on this search bar, okay, I guess it is just network. So firstly, I want to know that if you are not using PC, it's still same workflow if you are using your mobile phone. So you don't want to, create a restriction that probably it only works for PC and then there are some features I will not be able to get when I'm using mobile. No, if you are using Canva, you can actually work with your mobile phone, same flow, same everything of what you have on web is what you are going to have on your mobile view. I hope we can also hear. Please, if you can still hear me, please let's just drop comment into the section. So it doesn't seem as if I'm talking to myself. So let's confirm that before I actually progress to pick up a template and then can be able to, customize to suit our taste. All right, I'm waiting for messages from us. All right, thank you, Triumph Design. So, okay, thank you, and Joseph, thank you. So, all right, so first thing is that I actually search Instagram, right? So we notice that it's actually giving me projects and it's giving me templates, right? So what we need to do is that you need to switch to template. You can see it here. If you are using and what's it called and mobile phone, you always have the option. So you can just choose from templates. So what I want to do is to check a template that I see it's aligned with what I want to do, and then I can be able to customize to fit what I want to do. So now it's currently loading up the template section. So let's just bring out the templates and then you know see what we can be able to just play around with. I just hope the network will not be a glitch this evening because it's taking quite some time now to just load these things up. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, so this is what you have. Once you search templates, you can be able to browse through a lot of templates. You can even see, you can have sizes, right? You can choose between sizes that you want. It's still loading some features here. So you can choose between, this is 1080 by 1080. I guess this should be like 1080 by 1350. Because Instagram for feed post, you have the square and you have the 1080 by 1350. So I believe this should be and what's it called, 1080 by 1350. This is should be 1080 by 1080. So anyone you see square is 1080, and I believe this is actually Reels. So Reels is always like 1080 by 1920. So let me just go ahead and look for a template which I can actually be able to play around with. So first thing is that if you identify a template and then you like the template, let me just say I'm trying to identify one template that's, it's going to be straight to the point. And let's say, okay, and it's real estate. So I'm going to make use of this modern furniture. So I'm going to click on it now. It's going to open up. So we can see here that the Instagram post is square and then it is 1080 by 1080. So this is actually what we want to do. So let's just make use of 1080 by 1080. You can decide to use 1080 by 1350. So it's still, what's it called? Same thing, right? You can just decide that, okay, I want my, probably the informations you have, right? It's much, and then you just want to use the what's it called, the 1080 by 1350. So I'm going to click on customize these templates. So once you click on the customize this template, it's going to open a new bar, a new window for you, right, with the template inside. So from the templates, then you can begin to customize and then make edits to what you want to do as far as this is concerned. So I'll be just briefing out some things that we need to know about templates. Template is something that you can, once it is free. So please let's also take notes. Any part that you see this icon, it's premium. You can see pro. Anywhere you have that icon means that it is actually meant for paid version. So if you click on this, right, it's going to tell you that if you want to use this template, it's going to tell you to actually make payment to subscribe to Canva. All right, so for now we want to make use of the free, just to make us to be clear that there are a lot of things that you can do with the free version of Canva. So this is what you have, right? So you have where, this is where the image, you can see that is drag, it's clickable, and then you can drag along. You can reposition, you can choose to put your own here and then click and make selection. So first thing, right, so to be able to make selection, you can just click on any of the text and drag. You understand? So you can just click and drag, even if it's your mobile. Once you click on it, it's going to give you this, but you can see these two icons. You have the rotate and then you have the drag. So you can click, even if it's your phone, right, you can do each of what I just did now with your phone. So if you want to undo, for on your phone, you are going to see some menus that is going to be like an arrow back to undo. But on your system, you can just do Command Z, that is Control Z, right, to undo back to the default of how it was before. So to be able to change picture, right, you need to come to you can come to your uploads. So if you come to uploads now, you can just click and okay, let me just take you through. So this is the upload section where you can from your what's it called, from your phone, from your system, you can actually click and drag here, or you can open up where your file is and then use on this design. So let's take for instance now I already have some and what's it called, some images which I uploaded. So it's going to load up the images which I already made here. So I can be able to just click and drag into this because this image is clickable. One, you can double click this image if on your, so this is actually a masked image. This part that you can see is masked inside this circle. You understand? So if you want to access this circle, you want to scale it up, if you double click this, you see that it's going to take you inside this picture itself. So I can choose to delete the image if I want to put another image, or if I just click and drag any image into it, right, it's going to just replace what I have here. So I'm going to open a folder quickly on my phone and then find something that's find an image we can just click and drag into this place so we can see the upload process and see how that works. So I want to look for something that is not so heavy. So now I'm just going to drag and drop a particular image. Yeah, okay. So you can see once I drag into this, you can see what it's showing. So I just open a new window on my system and then click the image and drag. Do you understand? So I'm going to be showing us another trick as well that we can use. Should in case you are trying to make a design and then you don't want to keep downloading and then uploading, there's actually a quick fix I always use. So instead of me downloading the image and then having to upload, I can copy the image itself directly from the web and then paste into Canva itself, and Canva is going to load the image up. So instead of you having to download the image and make use of, so I'm going to drag this image particularly here. So the upload process is going to begin. So let me scroll up. You'll see that the upload will start immediately and it's going to show us the progress of which the image is. So I believe the image, oh, okay, it's just network, so it's loading up. So once you have the image, you can see that the image is already here. It's loading up here. So let me just take this down. All right, you can see the image is still loading. I guess I should be able to even drag. You can see. So two things, right? You can drag and drop into this part. You can see that it's already masking the image out. Or you can drop if you are not using the image on the mask. But for this case, I want to use the image on the mask. So I'll just click and drag the image into this part. You can see that it's already masked, right? So in order to be able to just adjust this, I'll just double click on this and then drag the image or scale it up and then be able to just adjust the image to the part at which I want it to actually flow. So let me say, I guess is okay. We need to double click the okay, this is the scale. Just double click the image itself so you can be able to adjust. Comment, don't know why it's not. All right, so another feature you can use is that you can just, as if you are familiar with Photoshop, you know there's and what's it called, you can group two elements together. So I can click on this element. You can see that once I click on this, this is not going with it. I can click this 50% off with this circle, with this shape, and press my Command G, which is Control G. If you are using what's it called Mac, that's Command G. So for Windows, just do Control G. So it's going to group this element together as one. So we can click and drag this image together. So this is done. So for this now, I can double click this image back because I want to make adjustment to this image. I guess the network is the network is kind okay. So this is the image. You can scale the image to fit into where you want. So you can just click and drag this edge, and then once you have a particular place which you like, you can just click outside to be able to fit. So the image is quite blurry, right? So just an example for us. So another thing you have to do is that to edit any text, just double click on it and type anything into this box. Let's say I just want to do Canva. So I'll just type Canva and then I can change. So all these texts are changeable. So another thing you want to also take note is all these elements inside. So another thing is that I can make duplicates of this page. You can see it here, or I can add a new page. So I want to make a new edit now. So now that we already have this flow, I want to make a new edit. So if I want to make a new page into this same design, like I want to use elements here, and I don't want to open a new Canva space and start dragging again, I can just use duplicate page, or I just make add a new page. So adding a new page will make a blank document, but if you click on this duplicate page, it's going to make copy of this image. So we can adjust this and then decide to say, okay, this image, right, I want to scale this down I want to have my own flow. I don't like this font. So before we move into where we are going to be finding fonts, right? So first you need to know is that once you enter this particular, what's it called, this part of editing your designs, you want to take note of this part, this left hand side. So this is where you have designs. So this designs means that you can access templates also. So you know that we actually pick templates from the home. So but in this case, you can access templates as well from this bar here. So you can see if I click on any of these templates now, so you take note of anywhere that you don't have the premium icon. So once you have the premium icon means it is paid. So anywhere you don't have the premium icon means it is free. And also take note of this play icon. When you say this play icon means that it is a video. So for now we are only dealing with design. So I can just click on it's a royal adventure. Once I click on this, it's going to ask if one, I want to replace this current page, or two, I want to add it as a new page. For this case, I just want to add as new page because I just want to work with this. So you can see that now I have option of playing around with this design. So another thing is that when you notice that a design is grouped together, just right click on it and choose on group. So once you choose on group, so you can be able to edit this text even without the ungrouping. I'm going to group this back. When you double click on this text, you should be able to make edits to, you know, what you want to do here. Do you understand? So all these things are adjustable. So it's not something that you cannot adjust. Adjustable. So you can scale this thing up to how you decide. If you know that you don't like this, image or this background, you can change it. So that is the part of this design part. So I'm going to move to elements. So this element has to do with what's it called, has to do with different let's say icons, elements, as the names implied. So we have different elements you can play with. For instance, now this is a this square now that you have here, or this box, you can access same box here if probably you are making a new canvas. So let's say this box now, I can delete this box, I can delete this one, and let me just take down every other information there and start playing around with some elements that we have on Canva. So I can choose this square now, so you can see what it opens here. So this square is what I have here. So I can decide to scale it up. If you hold your shift, it's going to drag proportionally, you can see. But if you don't hold your shift, you can play around with the shape. But if you want to keep the proportion aligned, so just hold your shift and drag. Do you understand? So this is what you have for here. So now then I can just come into where you have, so for this top bar, you have the shape, you have the color, you have the border style. So as you hover around these menus, it's going to show you the names, and then you have this bar, so you have where you can change your typefaces. We are still coming here when we are creating our own custom design. We'll be able to make use of all the elements here. So you see you have the font size, you have the text color, you have the what's it called, the font options, which is the bold, you have the italics, you have the underline, you have the strike through option. So and also you have alignment. So I'm going to make a duplicate of this to show us the difference. So what I'm doing is on your phone, you can just click on one element, you see this duplicate. But on your system, you can hold your alt and drag. So it's going to make a copy of this shape. So let me just say this is my shape, this is another shape. So I'm just holding with my shift, I can click two things together, three, and then be able to move them around, or I can group them together. Let's say I'm taking the scale here to be this, and then this is here. So for this alignment, let me just group this together with my Ctrl G and then click this together. So first thing you notice that it took off some options from this top bar, and that's because some options are not available for shapes. So now we are only going to make use of position. So what we want to do now is to centralize this. So to be able to centralize, one, you can either click and drag. You say that once you reach the center, that's one of the sweet things about Canva. You have option to snap. So it's going to automatically snap to the center of the page. This is one. So I can click this as well to center. So you can see that without me having to align both of them together, I'm already centralized. So let's take for instance now, I've already centralized the on horizontal parts together. So now I want to deal with the vertical aspect of my alignment. So I can click on both of them together and group again, which is Ctrl G, and then I can drag, click and drag, and once I reach to the center, you see that it shows that line of alignment. And once you reach to the center of this page as well, it's going to show that this shape that you are taking is already fit proportionally, both in horizontally and vertically it fits. So you can just click and then leave it. So you can see that these two elements are fit. Another options of aligning is that once I ungroup this now, let's say these shapes, right? Then separate places, let's say this one is here, and then let me group these ones together, and then I want to centralize. What I need to do is to click on this and then click on the second shape and come to my position. So in this position, you have a quite number of, you have the top, you see that it's going to align them to the top. I'm going to undo. You have the left alignment, it's going to align them to the left. You have the middle, you have the center, you have the bottom, and you have the left. So for this case, I just want to use the centralize. I'll just do, and what's it called, I'll just use the center. So you can see that this image is already centralized, so I don't need to actually wait till I have the lines to be able to centralize. So that is about centralization in Canva. So let me just move to another part of Canva now. So let's say you want to, so we're going to be moving into, let me show you. And so these are shapes. You have the different graphics elements, you have different elements you can play with here. So now let's move into the text. So the text is where you have your typography, where you can choose text boxes. You can choose some pre-made templates that is already available on Canva. So for now, you can see that without me even having to start doing some quick alignment myself. For instance, now I have this talk to us soon. I have this SEO. You can see this are pro. I cannot make use of this because I'm not using a paid account. So I'm going to take, let me take for instance, I like this thank you. So once you click on this thank you, it's going to automatically add them here. So let me just come back. You can see I just clicked on it and then I have this text. So let me just scale this down and then just have it here. So I want to make use of this element talk to us. I'm just going to click on it again and it's going to add this to my workspace. So it's still loading up. I guess you just, okay, yeah, we have the, okay, it has make a copy. So we have this talk to us now. So I can decide to just scale this up so that we can be able to see it more you know bolder. So this is part of text. So let's take for instance now this fonts that they use was, and this Bukhari script. So you can decide to just come into Bukhari script now and then change the font. Let's say I want to use Montserrat or any other typeface. So I can just click on Montserrat Light and you see that it's going to change the fonts. And the reason why it's not changing for thank you is because I only selected the U alone. So let's say I want to do for thank you. I'm going to select both of them together and then click on my Montserrat font and then change the Montserrats. Let me just put it to semi bold and then let me click both of them together and then the thank you together with this. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, let me just ungroup both of them together. So you can ungroup by Ctrl Shift G, or when you are grouped two elements together, you will see the menu here to ungroup. But if you're on your phone, you can just see the three dots options to choose more, and then you can be able to see out of the, and what's it called, the options here to choose on group Ctrl Shift G. So you can also see some quick shortcuts here to use. So because I actually like using shortcuts, it make your work faster instead of you having to just come there and then choose again. So now I've ungrouped these two elements. I'm going to click on both of them and then come to my fonts and then pick Montserrat. You can see that it changed the font for both of them. So this is about changing of font. Let's say I want to change the color. So I can come to this text color here and then come and pick. You can see that from these color options you have a whole lot of colors. And here's another thing about Canva. So anytime you upload an image, Canva is going to generate a color for you based on the image that you uploaded. So it's going to use its AI tool and then create a color palette for you from the image you uploaded. So if you see this photo I uploaded, these are the color variants from this image. So let's take for instance now, because there's something about design that you have to make sure that your design is in harmony. So I find this actually very helpful, and I'm going to be showing us how helpful this is if you are creating our custom design. With these tools now, you can be able to play with some gradients that is already available in your design or in your picture and make sure that every element you are creating, you don't have to struggle with the colors, and then you can just be able to play around with the colors. Let's say for instance now I'm moving away from this image. I just want to add my color. So if you know anything about this X value, so this is called X value, X value. So you can, this, if you input anything like let's say FFFFF, then this is going to take you to white, this 5, so this is white. So but you don't need to master all this for now. Just make sure you know your brand colors, and if you have had a brand, your brand is going to have its own brand color, right? And then you can be able to play around with the color and just take the X value that designer has provided and then put it here, and then it's going to give you your brand color. But for this case, I can just decide to just pick any color here for now and then choose for this. So I can decide to pick this and then go back to my color and then pick the same color which I just used on this as well. So this is about you adding colors. Let's say for instance now we've talked about alignment, we've talked about grouping. So let's take for instance now, you now want to make some adjustment, right? You can, so for this case, let's say you want to type your own text out, so you can just add this option, add a text box. Once you click on it, it's going to give you your own text box, so you don't need to actually come here to take their own. So you can just say let's say we are doing the Canva Masterclass. So you can see here, so from this option you can click on this and then it just be able to proportion this based on the ratio at which the column you are working on is. So for this case, let me just probably use just one line, and then I want to change my fonts. I can come here and then come to my Montserrat fonts and then come to a bolder fonts to be able to use, and then you can have it here. So let's say this is Canva Masterclass. Let me put Canva and AI Masterclass. Okay, so I can decide to scale this up and then have this centralized. So once you double click on this, let's say for instance, if you mark, you can mark everything here with Control A. But if you are with your phone, just once you click on this, right, you have options of this and what is it called, spacing. So this spacing is what allows you to be able to add spacing to your text box. So let's say for instance now I want to make these spaces between the Canva and AI and the masterclass is too much for me. So what I need to do is just to reduce the spacing in between the text. So you need to come to this spacing here and come back to this line spacing. So letter spacing is just going to space the distance between the letters. So I can just leave it at my default value. I let me say that should be so let me just try control and put 0. So this default value 0, right? So I then choose this spacing. You can see that this spacing works for the spaces between your text. So I just want to reduce the spacing a bit. You can see, so this actually makes a good design, because you don't expect to have your design and then you have a whole lot of space here. You understand? So the design might not really look nice. So you want to be able to make sure that your design are concise to a particular and what's it called, design style you are trying to keep. So for this case, I can just still try to reduce the spacing a bit more. So this is okay for me now. So I can change all this text here. It's saying we have multiple fonts because this is in group. So with this group selected, I'm just going to click on everything and then let it tell us that we have multiple fonts. And then I just want to change it to Montserrat. So automatically it's going to update all these fonts to Montserrat itself. You can see that everything has been updated to Montserrat, and it has kept the weight of the font itself. So you can decide to choose any font you want. You don't need to stick with the font provided by the templates you have picked here, and then just click on this and then just add let's say I need to use this. Let's say I want to use Anonymous Pro. So it's going to update all the text here to Anonymous Pro itself, but I'll be keeping the Montserrat. So this is what we have here, right? So another thing that I want to also show us is how to change colors. So number one, let's say this is actually having a background, and then the background is having a color. So I can decide to just click on this color. You can see it here, and then change between the colors that we have here. So I can decide to change into this and then just pick a color that resonates with my brand. So let me say I want to use okay, let's say I want to stick with this color now. You can see number one, I need to change the color of this. So I'm already moving us into creating a custom design ourselves. So I'm going to probably bring this up. So I'm going to be adding, let me see, so you come back to upload. I think I should have uploaded our logo. Yes, exactly. So this is our logo. I'm going to click on this logo and then just scale this down, and then bring it up to this top, and then you remember the alignment. So once it's at the center, you know that it's at the center. So I'm going to shift this down a bit. So that's what you have to be keeping. You have to make sure that your eyes is, and what's it called, staying through with design. So I'm going to be covering that part of design inspiration, because you don't just open a blank canvas and then start walking around. So you might just get yourself confused and be like, where did I need to start? So what you need to do is that make sure that you are feeding on designs. For example, you can customize templates and make use of some elements. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make use of some element that we have here, and then create a custom design for us to be able to see how you can be able to have your own initial design and still make use of pre-made elements on Canva. So this is going to be Canva. So I want to change this black text. I will come to this and then come to this color, text color, and I click on it and have, let me see, I would like to have it in white. So you can see now. So once you need to make sure that your text too is aligned. So you can see that this is aligned. So I can just bring it down as I mentioned, and then make sure our logo too is not touching the edge. You want to leave enough bleed at the left hand side, because what is common between a professional designer and someone starting out is because they don't maintain their alignments. You might see some people drag design to here. You understand? Make sure your design is aligned to what you are doing, and then you leave enough room for spaces here, so that you can be able to make sure that your design is not touching the bleeds. Please leave enough bleed. There are some secrets I'm going to show you. So for instance, you might be working on design and then you don't have to stick with design. So I'm going to show you one element that I've seen that it's actually worked a lot for me. So I'm going to come back to this element. I'm going to scroll to where we have this shape. So I'm going to be adding a shape. So this shape, let's say you are working on just, it's not even out, it's outside Canva. So I'm going to customize this shape to have like a guide for me, so that I'll be able to know where my alignment is, should in case I actually forgot. So I'm going to scale this up. I'm going to scale this back. So let's say Canva is making use of ruler. Would have used ruler to demarcate this. So let's say for instance now, so I want all my design to be, to be consistent. So what I want to do is that I'm going to make duplicates of this same box by holding my alt and drag it here. So you can see that it is still same shape. So that means that it is same proportion that we have at this bleed we are having here too. So another thing is that I'm going to make duplicate of this again. I can do Control D, or I can Control C and Control V, or I can hold my alt to make duplicates. Please don't forget, you can Control C and Control V. Control C and Control V will make duplicates. Let me just try. You can see Control D will make duplicate as well. Alt will also make duplicate as well for you. So you can decide to play on anyone. And if you are on phone, just click on any of them, any of the elements you are making duplicate of. You can see the duplicate options here. Just make duplicate and you are good to go. So you don't need to know about, because you cannot use command on your phone. So now what we are going to do is that we are going to rotate this. You understand? To keep same proportion, we are going to rotate this by 90 degrees. So you can see that you have the degree here. So I'm going to rotate by 90. You can see that we have 90 now. I'm going to release, and then I'm going to take this and put it up here at the upper part, because this element I'm showing you, it's what make a good design. You might look at a professional design, everything is working, but there's something wrong, and that is because the alignment is not correct. So now I'm going to make duplicate of this again, holding my alt. Do you understand? And then make a duplicate and drag down. So that means that I have a proportion, I have a bleed. So it's called bleed. That means that any element must not go outside of anything I'm doing must stay within this box. So this will actually make your design. So after we are done with this design, I'm going to take off the box and you are going to see how clean your design is going to look. So for this case now, I want to shift my logo to be able to make sure that it's not touching the red part. So I can just, move it up to touch just a bit, and then my Canva is aligned. So this, I want it to fall to this alignment. You can see that it's sticking with this part, and that's one thing about Canva, to help you to snap your elements to the parts at which you are trying to snap. So I want to bring this down. So let's take for instance now, this talk to us is, I guess this talk to us should be okay here. So I'm making use of, this is different alignments. So I'm going to show us, we have alignments, we have the left alignment, we have this is justify, which is going to stretch across the frame you have. We have the right alignment, and you have the center alignment. So for this case, I actually sometimes I like left alignment, and sometimes, so depending on design, depending on what you are trying to create, will determine if left alignment is going to be fit for you, or if you need to centralize the text. So for instance now, we only have a few minutes more for Canva, so we can be able to move to other things. So let me just try to just show something. So for this now, I'm going to do left alignment because I just want to have that feel of, just fall at the left hand side. So let me see. I'm going to, reduce this. You can see that once I reduce this scale to be able to make sure these designs fall, into it's well concise. You understand? So you are doing left alignment. You don't want to spread all your text across. You want it to actually create that feel of that alignment. So I'm going to make this and then take it down and also make sure that it is aligned to this part as well. And this talk to us, let me just shift it up a bit. So this part of it is that make sure that you are not just leaving empty space. We are going to be filling this space up with elements. So I'm going to change this talk to us. I'm going to change the color and then just choose white. You can say that it's not changing for everything because it's not everything we selected. So, but I'm going to change this one to white. So this talk to us, I can decide to find another color in our brand. Let me just see another color just to, you don't just assign colors, please. You assign colors one based on the information you are trying to make people to catch. And that's where, design principles come in. What communication are you telling with your design? What do you want them to first read? What do you want them to first see? You determine which one has to be more bolder and which one has to carry much more weight, which is your fonts and the weights you put to them. So number one is that the first message is Canva and AI Masterclass, and then followed by, this talk to us. So now I'll just click on the Canva and then do the talk to us, and then have this talk to us and just have this call to action to be able for people to be able to see. So I'm just going to play with a color that, can be able to meet with this blue. So all right, so we have this now. So for instance, I said that this color is seeming as if it's not aligned. Don't forget that this is just a guideline for us. Let me group them together. It's just a guide, is a bleed for us. So it's not like the end of what we are going to be doing. So once we are done, I'm going to take off that bleed and then we'll be able to see what's how that looks. So let me take for instance now, I want to add elements of, let's say, image. So I want to show us a quick and what's it called, option. Let me see if I can open up, and I want to show us one thing about, okay, before I move down, I'm going to go into remove background.bg. So remove background.bg is open source for you. So it has free and it has paid. So this is where you can actually use to remove backgrounds. Nevertheless, Canva also has background remover. But in terms of background remover for Canva, it's not, and what's it called, for the free version, it's not so, well refined. Do you understand? But for the remove background, you can still make use of this. But if you are having Canva Pro, you can decide to be using Canva to, remove your backgrounds, which Canva has a whole lot of features for the paid. So let me just go here and just do upload, and what's it called, sorry. So let me just go into, let's say, I want to make use of image, and I'm trying to just find an image here. We can just remove the background together. Okay, I'm trying to find image. If not, we can just download an image, but I don't want the, what's it called, to actually scroll us down. So let me just scroll down. If I can get an element, we can just remove the background. Okay, let's take for instance, let me just make use of this image for an example now. So this image was an AI generation from Ben Morning. So I'm going to open this image at background remover, and it's going to automatically remove the background for me. So the image is currently working on the image. So let's just wait. Fantastic. So you can see what's the remove BG. So I'm going to share the, what's it called, the links that we visited, so that we can be able to, catch up with that. So I'm going to download this image and download as PNG. So it's already downloaded as PNG. So what I want to do is to, and what's it called, make use of this image. So for instance, I told us that we can actually copy an image and paste into Canva. So if I copy this image, copy image without having to download, I can come to Canva now, and then paste, Ctrl V. So it's going to calculate my, you can see, so I actually do not have to download and start importing the image into the and what's it called, to the file again. It's quite, very straightforward. I don't have to. So now immediately I paste this image. If I come back to my, if you come back to your uploads here, you see that your image that you pasted would have been added automatically. So you can just see an image and make sure that the image is copyright free. I'll be giving us some assets at the end. So the image is copyright free, so you can just copy the image and paste, and Canva is going to automatically load it in, and then you don't need to just wait till you have the image ready. So this is, let's say this is my image that I want to use. So for this case I just want to, but this image, right, I'll be, there's something that they said that first know the rules. That's first thing. As a designer, know the rules, and then after knowing the rules you can then break the rules creatively. So that is the part where you have to be thinking outside of the box. Number one, we already have a bleed which the design is not supposed to fall outside of. But in terms of this image, let's say this image is going for print, right? I can decide that if this image, the information I'm actually trying to get out of this image, having some elements trimmed out of this image will not affect my design, then it is fine. So it creates that harmony between them and make the image seems as if it's blended in. So for this case, I'm going to be taking the image outside of the bleed which we created. So this is going to be the image, right? Let's say the image, I want the image to, intersect a bit with the AI masterclass. Then we have this. And this is one secret I've been telling us, that one thing I love about Canva is calculating my image and making suggestions to colors of my image. And this is where you actually make design that stands out apart from one following brand colors. Let's say for instance, I want this design to feel in harmony. So I want to kind of change this blue. I can just come back to this, my background color. So it's currently selecting this and frames I marked. So let me click on this. So I'm going to click on this background color. If you come back to this and scroll down, you see that this image, Canva has calculated every colors in this image out. So I can decide to choose any of this color as my background now, or the darker shade. You can see. So this itself helps you to be able to quickly catch up with, you don't need to worry so much about color, and then this will give you. So I'm going to be doing some things for us now with this image. I'm going to be working with the colors of the image, because that's some secrets about design. You can pick elements out of the images of your design to be able to create that seamless flow in your design. So I'm going to choose one. You said I'm deviating from the color I used initially with this image I just imported. Number one, I'm going to switch this Canva to one of the colors of this face. So I'm going to choose this text color and come back to the image and then choose this lighter color. You can see that flow of, making the design as if, I actually have mastered all the colors in this world. Just some little touch of secrets can give you seamless design, and then you don't need to worry so much about color. So I'm going to choose this yellow again, and then I'm going to come back to, probably, let me see, which color can I use here. So you can see that we already used of the darker shade, so we cannot use anything dark, because you have to be able to create contrast between your design. So let me just say I will use this for the talk to us soon too. Do you understand? So this can actually create harmony, but to me this design is already looking too much of one. It's looking too, monochrome or duotone. Monochrome is one tone, and then duotone is two colors. So I don't want it to look as much like that, but so I can undo and still leave this Canva for white, and then change this talk to us as one of the colors of this image. So once you pick one of the colors, it's going to add them to this palette here. So I can just choose this and then choose the call talk to us here. You understand? And then have this as what's, probably what I'm looking for. So for this again, I'm going to be showing us another thing. Like, let's take for instance now, we have this design. So I'm going to do something now. I'm going to make group of our guideline, and then I'm going to right click on it. So I'm not sure I can be able to hide this, but let's still leave it for now. Let's leave it for now. So I want that the unveiling to just be a surprise of how clean your design is going to be. So let's take for instance now, I just want to make use of probably a bit of elements for the background, so it doesn't seem as if it's just too black. I have elements in it, so I can just come to free pick, and then you can make use of free pick. But for this case, I don't want us to take time. I just search black pattern background. Let me just put free so that we can be able to, see. So I just want something black pattern. So I want something that's very simple. Let me look for black pattern shape background. So first you want to know what you are looking for, right? So and then let me see if I have elements that is okay. And then okay, let me see. So I like this. This is actually from free pick. So this is another thing I'm telling us. I guess this is free. Yes, this is free. I don't need to quickly go because the design I'm making is not something going to be big. It's not going for print. I can quickly do some touch up without waiting time. So I'm going to do the copy I told us about, copy image. You can decide to go to free pick. If I click on this link, it's going to direct me to where the image is actually coming from. So which is free pick. So you can see that this is actually is not free. This is paid. But for now, I'm going to make use of this part of it because I just want to have something at the background, not something I'm looking for to make, too much of things out of. So I'm going to paste again, Control C to copy and Control V to paste. So now I'm pasting this image into what we already have. So let's say this is the image. I can decide to just scale it to fit. The reason why I'm using this, I'm not after too much of the and what's it called, the details, and then the and what's it called, the elements has to be of high quality, is because of where the design is going into. Please always consider the output of your design will determine what you need to do. If you know your design is going for print, you have to make sure that every element you are using is detailed and you know it's the quality is very okay. But for this case, it's going for social media and the elements are not going to be too much obvious, and then still going to be reducing the opacity. So now what you need to do is, one, right click on this and then choose layer and choose send to back. So for this case, see that I sent the background to back. So for this image, I'm going to click on this transparency that we have here and then reduce the transparency, so that the aim of this is just to have something like element details at the background of my design. So I've added that, I've reduced the opacity, and then we are good to go. Let's say for instance now we are done with this. So I can take this talk to us soon. Let me take this talk to us soon and just drag this down. You understand? And then this, let me make a bit of intersection between this. So now we are done with the design, and then let us take off our bleed that we are done with. So for this, I'm going to make duplicates so that I can be able to come back to this. You can make duplicate of your design, don't forget. And then I'm going to delete in this part the element that we have, delete or backspace. You can see with this now, with this design, everything looks very well okay in terms of alignment. So you don't need to work too much, just create a shape. Or if you don't want to create shape, you can then start, let's say the design is here, you can then click on this together and come back to your position and choose alignment. You can see that you can choose left, so it's going to align the text back to left. But if you don't want to take so much time, you can have this bleed and then make sure that it's in the same shape of the, what's it called, they are all proportionally the same, so that what the spacing you have here is going to be the spacing you have at the left hand side and at the top too. So we see now we have this element, and then you can see that at this background it's not so much obvious, but you see that there's an element at the background that is making the image to stand out. So let's say we are done with the design and then I want to export. So you come to share, right? So in this share is where you have and your download, you understand. So in this download options, you have many options. So when you click on share, you can choose to share on your social media, you can choose to share on anywhere you want, and then but for this case I just want to download and upload. So what I do is click on this download and then choose from the options. So for these options, you remember that we have a quite lot of art boards. We have boards in which we have different design. So let's take for instance, I want to download this image as JPEG or PNG. It says suggested. So if it's PDF, I want to download, I can choose PDF. So I'll just choose, PNG. You understand? And there's this PNG. If you have only one design, it won't select, it won't actually make and what's it called, option for you to choose between pages. For instance, now we have different pages in this, so I'll be selecting one of the pages. So we have page 4. Don't forget this is page 4, and this is what we have. So I can decide to change the name or leave the name as it is. So I'm going to choose from this drop down. You see the options. I'll first do all pages. I'm going to unselect everything there. All pages, I'm going to uncheck everything and come back to this 4 which I'm working on, and just click on this and then choose done. So once it's done, it has selected page 4, current page, and then choose download. So now it's going to download this design for us. So I'm going to be just dropping this design for us in the group so we can be able to see what I'm going to open. So it's currently downloading here. So once it's done downloading, I'm going to preview it for us to see. So once it's 9 o'clock, we're going to be moving into and what's it called, into AI. aspect of bit of it. So I'm going to click on this and then see, locate where the image, the design is currently downloaded. So this is, what we have. You can see. So you can see that your alignment is correct. We don't worry too much about alignment because we set a grid ourselves without having to be doing manual alignment. We had a grid to guide us through. And then we also made use of colors. You can see this now. And then we make use of this color to be able to stay in color, not in order for us not to worry so much about the colors we are using and then worrying about too much of colors. You can see how this is actually in alignment with the background we use, has same touch of background we had on, what's it called, on the elements of the image. And then the top to us is also one of the colors we have on the image. So all this design is having that harmony of that they are together. So starting out as a designer, this is my advice for you. Don't too much worry about color for now. Stick with some of the element that you are using. If you are working towards, if you have your brand as a brand color, make use of your brand color. If you know you are just starting out, you want to make a unique design, look for inspiration. So now we are done with this, so I'm going to close this, then take us to, so for inspiration, you can get inspiration from, for instance now, from Canva design. You can be able to choose from, if you click on design, let me just go back. You can see that Canva has a whole lot of design you can decide to play with, customize to your own use. Once you open the file, you can change the text size, change the text fonts, and then change everything you want about design and export. But if you want to create your own design, please look for inspiration. I'm going to go to Pinterest. So that's where I always, gain my own inspiration from. I draw inspiration from Pinterest a lot. I have mood boards I've saved. If I'm looking to create designs, if I want to create a probably a, and what's it called, an heavy design that is going to be making use of elements, and then I'll just come into my elements, or I search a particular, let's say for instance, you want to make social media design, just search on the search bar, social media. So let's say even is real estate, uh real estate social media design. So now it's going to give you ideas. So from these ideas, you can be able to take different elements and then study them and be able to create new design from it. So that's how you'll be able to know that, you have something that is guiding you towards the choices you are making in your design. So I'm going to be making, let's just take for instance, I like this design. You can see. So if it is this alignment you have, you can just like this alignment. Just study the alignment and then replicate same alignment for your design. You understand? You don't have to start afresh and say, oh, what do I want to use? Should I do center? Should I do left alignment? You can stick with a particular style based on what you want to create. If it is this design you are trying to make, same thing. Stick with the elements. You see that for this case, they used a left alignment with the logo, and then their website is at the right hand side. And then if you love this, fine. Make use of this element and stick with the alignment, and make sure that you have grid. Remember what I told you. You see, this same alignment, right, was made use, but they might not have drawn shapes as we drew, but they use the same alignments that we did in terms of, covering the part at which you have to make sure that your design is not touching the bleed. That's how you notice a professional design from a design that is not professional enough, because their alignments are not on point and their designs or elements are touching the bleed, or they are touching where they are supposed to leave enough room. So for this case now, I believe I've covered a lot out of what's it called, Canva. So I'll just love us to move into AI, because that's the sweetest part of it. So okay, I'm going to be moving into AI. I'm going to be covering for us now ChatGPT, which is Open AI. So starting now, let me see if I actually log out. So this is one secret I want to tell you. I know some of us have been using AI before, and then some of us are just starting out to use AI. So in terms of this AI, especially ChatGPT, so what you want to do is that I will be showing us some secrets at which I've done, and then we can be able to study from it. What you want to do as far as AI is concerned is that, one, take AI as your partner. Do you understand? So take AI as your partner. You understand? So still see AI as someone that's a partner that is with you, that is versatile, and then the partner knows a lot about, businesses, and then you recruit the person, which is this case AI, into your business. The first thing you have to do is that you explain what's your business, because that is what differentiates. Both of us can be using AI. If I'm showing you the result at which I'm getting from AI, you might be surprised at what I'm getting from what you are getting. And that is because of how much information I feed in into the AI for the result is going to be giving me. Let's take for instance now, I'm going to be showing us a secret about how I use AI, because in this Canva class we are having, I developed all our communications materials from AI totally. So from the information you are seeing on our group chats to the call to action button to everything, I fed AI with every information. And based on the information, it was giving me result at which I'm needing. And don't forget that AI is not going to be like the full stop. It's not going to be like, okay, I've gotten this from AI and then that is the end and then everything is fine. No, you have to still refine and correct to fit in to what you actually, intend to achieve with it. Please, as we are moving into this AI, please let's confirm if we can hear me, if we are actually understanding so far, because I know we've spent, an hour now. So please let's start dropping into the comment section if, the we've actually been understanding so far, so we can be able to make sure that we are on the same page before I progress. All right, I'm waiting for us. Please, we have just 25 minutes to cover AI, and there are still some things I want to show us. Please, let's confirm. Excuse me. All right, I'm waiting for us to drop our comments so that I can be able to know if we understand the parts of. First is about the Canva, and then so that we can be able to. Okay, thank you, Jemima. So I'm expecting to hear from others as well. All right, thank you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to progress into AI. So let me read this to you now. How I built the system of a conversation of the communication materials I was sharing with us, because that would be a good, place to explain how you can be able to incorporate, no matter the business you have, no matter what you are doing, you can incorporate AI into your business and then simplify and make use of it to, take that part of those tedious workflow. Do you understand? Those aspects of, workflow, so that we can be able to see how I actually built up the, chat flow, and then I had sequence of questions, because if you see these charts, it's not just one chart, same sequence of charts that I had here. You can see a conversation that both of us were having for the class. Do you understand? So this was actually based on the information I was providing. Sometimes you will put some messages into AI. What you get is be like, what's this thing giving me? Come on, I myself can actually do better. So you refine those things to be able to make sure that you are getting the best. So for instance, now, the first conversation I had was that the Patience Academy is having a free Canva masterclass where participants are going to be taught how to go from amateur to pro level. During the class, There will also be an AI ChatGPT training on how content can be created using AI, and also generates design ideas. I said your task is to create a post caption to be used on all our visual communications for the academy. I now asked a question. I said, do you understand? If yes, tell me what you understand and ask me if I would like you to proceed. So this is to make sure that I and the AI, we are understanding ourselves. We can be able to make sure that you are giving me what I want, I'm giving you. So the response was that it says, yes, I understand. You'd like a caption for visual communications promoting the Patience Academy's free Canva masterclass, highlighting the transition from amateur to pro level and featuring AI training and content creation and design ideas. So what I told you, I said he should ask me if I want him to produce to actually if to I want it to actually proceed with creating the post caption. I now told you yes, please. So you can see, so the first thing is it gave me a particular thing: unlock your creative potential, join Patience Academy's free. So I saw that. I said I would like to make it more human so that people won't know it's an AI generated content. Also, I would like you to also include the deadline for registration to be 12th of March 2024. You now see the result it gave me. It says, embrace your creativity. Join us at Patience Academy free Canva masterclass where we'll guide you from amateur to pro level. And then you can see and you now see this part, act fast. Expiration deadline is March 12, 2024. So you can see that with the information I'm putting, I'm not having to do a whole lot of editing myself. I'm telling it to do some parts, and then it's already taking up the heavy liftings of I have to be editing and editing. So the next question I told you, I said, how many copywriting frameworks do you know? So for anybody that deals with copywriting, there are copywriting framework that gets people to be able to come up with compelling, persuasive copies to be able to, get a audience or a target audience to be able to perform a particular action that is being required. So now I'm now asking ChatGPT again. I said, how many copywriting frameworks do you know? It says I'm familiar with various copywriting frameworks, including IDA, because that is the the most popular ones. It says attention, interest, desire, and action, and also some other ones. I said good. Now rewrite the last copy using the IDA framework. So you can see what it now did. So it started writing the what's it called, the copy to fit into what I want to use for the design. So number one in terms of communication is to know what you want and also give AI enough information about your business. So it's not something that you want to be, should I actually give this information? So make sure that you give it, the more it understands what you want to do, the better it can give you a better output. Do you understand? So I saw that there were some things I would like. I said, let's try past framework. He gave me another sequence of frameworks and, a whole lot of things. That was for the part of framework. So now I'm going to be starting a new chat. So firstly, to be able to use ChatGPT, so you want to sign up at chat.openai.com. I'm going to be sending a list of documents of this list of what's it called, and links that we made use of. So I want to show you this particular thing now. So now I'm going to start a new chat. So firstly is that you want to log in. So let me say this is my new chat. I'm going to actually log out of my account, log out, so that we can be able to see. So number one, as we actually did for Gmail, or you can actually sign in and with your email if you actually want to use another email. So now it's actually signing me out of my account, so I can be able to show you the interface of how it looks if you want to sign in. So it should be done in a GIF now. Let me see. So while this actually loads up, so once you actually understand this and what's it called, your interaction between AI, it's still going to help you in terms of Gemini. Gemini is what's it called, another it's just like ChatGPT as well, but this one is actually from Google. So once you have same message, same interaction, same understanding of the knowledge you have on these AIs, you can use them on any other platform as well. So you don't actually have to train on ChatGPT and then go and train on how you need to start using Gemini as well. Do you understand? Because if you this I already had Open Gemini down. So this is I made use of both of them depending on the communication or depending on the information or the content at which I want determine where I actually want to use, if I should use Gemini or which is or Google AI, or if I should actually use ChatGPT. Do you understand? So that's actually why you can see that I'm using both Gemini and also and what's it called? I'm using Gemini and ChatGPT together. Okay, ChatGPT is done. So I'm going to log in now. I'm going to do so. If you're not logging, if you've not logged in before, you're going to sign up. But for this case, I'm just going to do the login. So let me see the login now. So it's going to take you to where you know be able to put in your email. So for now, I will continue with Google. I always love to use my Google, so I don't need to be entering email, password, and everything all over again. So I will sign in with Google now and then pick my account, so it's coming up. So once you understand how AI works and how you can be able to refine your prompts, because prompts are all these informations you provide AI for it to produce an output for you. The more you understand your prompt and refine it very well, the better it's going to give you the results which you desire. And also, don't forget that AI can be biased sometimes. So make sure that you read and not just do copy and paste. You read and refine what you are doing, your element is being given you. So let's take, for instance, I'm going to be building a kind of a business. Let's take Efficiency Academy, for instance. So I'm going to be writing some information here. So the plan is that I want to be able to, I want to create something else now. I want us that, okay, we are having this class. I want to do a thank you message for every one of us that has participated, and also to encourage everyone, that joined the class, to be able to, appreciate them for joining. So number one, don't forget that this is a new chat. So ChatGPT it is trained in such a way that if you have asked a particular question before, you can commence and also, and what's it called? You can still reply to the chat or information which you have actually asked before, and then it can be able to give you sequence of results based on the entrance. So it can be able to track records of the and what's it called the prompts or information or the chats of which you have the conversation you've been having before. ChatGPT has it's built in such a way that same conversation can have a whole conversation built into ChatGPT, and you can still be making reference to something you have done at the upper part and then make reference to it and said, okay, I like this part, let's build on this. So let's take, for instance, now I'm going to be saying, okay, I would first look at how I'm actually refining what I'm saying. I would like you to be my professional content writer. That's number one. First thing, you can see that I'm orienting AI, ChatGPT, to be able to understand its role on what it needs to do. So I would like you to be my professional content writer. We just concluded a free training on the use of AI and Canva, and I would like to create a thank you message to everyone that participated in the class. You understand? I'm telling it to know what I'm expecting as a result from ChatGPT now. So we just concluded a free training on the use of AI and Canva, and I would like to create a thank you message to everyone that participated in the class. The class was hosted by the Efficiency Academy.
So this is also making it to know who hosted the program. Do you understand? So you can reformat and then rephrase every information I'm providing. But this is what I'm just, so after this, and then I'll now tell it. So your task is to write me something I can be able to share with everyone that participated. I want the language and mood, okay, let's say language and tone, to be friendly to, okay, I want the language and tone of the message to be friendly yet professional. So what I'll do next is I'll ask, do you understand what I'm asking you to do? Question mark. If yes, tell me what you understand, and ask me if I would like you to commence. So this is to make sure that I get the information, or it actually gets me correctly on what I'm trying to do. So I'll hit the enter and let's see what it's going to give us. Excuse me, sorry. My beat is, I've actually lost my voice today. So really sorry, my voice is a bit deep. All right, so it says, yes, I understand. You are looking for a friendly yet professional thank you message to share with everyone who participated in the free training on the use of AI and Canva hosted by the Patience Academy. Fantastic. You want the message to express gratitude and appreciation for their attendance and engagement during the training. Would you like me to proceed with drafting the message? I said, yes, please. You can see. So it's actually creating this like a mail. Do you understand? So you can see what is drafting now. So we are going to let it be done. You see, this is actually seeming too much because I know a lot of us sometimes when we post online, how many of us will be able to read? So this is actually too much for us, right? I want it to be shorter. So for let's just first read. Say a heartfelt thank you for joining our AI and Canva training. Dear participants name, on behalf of the Patience Academy team, I want to extend a warm and heartfelt thank you for your participation in our recent training session for the AI, for the use of AI and Canva. Your attendance and active engagement made the event a tremendous success, and we couldn't be more grateful. You can see, so this contains, very refined and then covers a whole lot of what I want to talk about. You can see even this message as you continue to explore and harness the power of AI and Canva. Please know that the Patience Academy is here to support you every step of the way. Whether you have questions, need guidance, or simply want to connect with fellow enthusiasts, our doors are always open to you. Once again, thank you for your training session, a memorable and rewarding experience. We look forward to seeing all that we accomplish with your newfound knowledge and skills. Warm regards. You can see. So I can now choose to say, oh, okay, I actually want to make adjustments. I want to make edits to this. So for instance, now I'll say, okay, thank you for this message, right? But it is too much. I want people to be able to read, you understand, and not, I don't want a long reading. Can we just make it short and then short and to the point to be able to cover what's the information and yet doesn't lose the overall message? So this is what I'll do now. We want to reduce the message. See what I'll do. Fantastic. The message seems as though a long read. So look at how I'm relating with it as someone I employed and I'm paying the salary. Do you understand? And don't forget, this is actually the free version. Now imagine what the paid version can do. So I'm actually telling this as if we are, is my partner. I said, but this really seems as though a long read. Is there any way we could make this shorter and yet maintain the overall tone of the message? See what it's going to do now. You can see down that this is actually short but too short. So this is some of the things you see with AI, and you understand. So for instance, now you can decide to now copy and make edits to this what it already provided you, or you want to take it further. I don't want to stress myself, just come up with something. This is good, but I think it looks too short now. So it's understand what I'm saying now. It's going to add a whole you can see what it's doing now. So it says it says I wanted to extend the ad further, and then we hope the knowledge you gain. So this is actually what you will get. But don't forget that it has given you something much more. And then you can be able to build and copy out of this and edit this that it has already provided for you. So that is about how you can be able to create messages. So let's take for instance now, I want there are a whole lot of things you can do. Let's say for instance you want to create a content calendar to be able to post online. You can definitely do it with AI. And then let me just see what it can do with us now. Say, let me just provide a new message. I'm also planning to have a sequence of posts on our social media page. I would like you to come up with content ideas that we can use. So let's see what this is going to give us. You can see how it's telling me based on all right, you can see the magic and wonders AI is creating. So for instance now, I said give me content ideas based on the new the just concluded AI and Canva training. So it says number one, we should focus on gratitude post. Share a photo or graphic from training session along with a thank you message to all participants for their attendance and engagement. One, highlight reel. Create a short video montage featuring snippets of the training, showcasing key moments, insights, and participants' interaction. Another one, he said testimonials, gather feedback from participants about their experience during the training. You can see that this is already created a content calendar for me to be able to work with in terms of saying, I'm actually having a probably content blockage. I don't know what to actually write. With this now, I can begin to put in my own creative aspect and start working on materials on what I need to do. This is already giving me a standpoint to be able to build on and then start creating content from. Do you understand? So this AI, right? No matter the business you are into, you can create something. So I will show us something now. I know that Oyekon Joseph is a photographer. So I'm going to actually address some of the issues that because I have worked with a lot of photographers, right? So I want to write a communication material for what's it called, for people, for my clients to be able to make sure that they understand that a particular thing has to be done this way. So I'm thinking of ideas. Let's take for instance a case where um a photographer would have finished their works, and then before the balance is being paid takes a longer time, and then they keep the materials. The photographer has to keep their materials at hand, or the produce copy. Let's say for instance photo book, a produced photo book, I will now stay longer time before the what's it called, before the client comes to retrieve it. So in this case we can talk this like, okay, this is a problem, then I want to create a communication to all my clients to make sure they know beforehand that starting from today henceforth, this is actually how I work, and this is the guideline at which I want all of us to be able to stick to in terms of when you need to collect the jobs from me and when you need to actually what's it called, pay up your balance. So I'm going to be defining the problem now. I work as a professional photographer. So the first thing is letting ChatGPT to know what I wanted to do, professional photographer. I have a major concern about clients not coming on time to retrieve their jobs and also pay up their balance on time. I would like, okay, let me try to first pay their balance on time. I will now ask ChatGPT to give me ideas. Is there can we create a communication or a message or a communication? Okay, let me just say, can we create a message that I can share with my clients to make them see reason why every job has to be collected on time and balance are being paid up when they are ought to be. So this is me letting ChatGPT to know what the major concern is. Two is to let it know what I want to use the message to do. And three, to be able to know how I want the message to be. So I'll ask it again. Do you understand? So this is actually not necessary, but I just want it to brief me what it understood before I can know that we are good to go. Do you understand? We're already at 9:30. I'll be rounding up very soon. Sorry, I'll just probably 5 minutes. Do you understand? If yes, tell me what you understand and ask me if I would like you to commence the uh material or to commence the message. So let's see what it's going to state now. Fantastic. So see what it's telling me. Absolutely. I understand your concern. It's crucial to communicate effectively with your clients about the importance of timely collection of their jobs and payments of balances. This ensures not only the smooth operation of your business, but also respects your time and effort as a professional photographer. You can see ChatGPT understanding what I'm actually facing and what I needed to solve for me. And then he said, before I draft the message, could you please provide some additional information? It would be helpful to know. One, the tone you prefer for the message, formal, friendly. Do you understand? Any specific reasons or consequences you would like to highlight? You can see it's giving you ideas if there's going to be some particular things you wanted to highlight. Three, any incentives or benefits you offer for timely collection and payments, giving you ideas at which you can implement for people to be able to quickly come to retrieve their works. Four, any specific policies or deadlines you have in place regarding job collection and balance payments. Fantastic. So from this point that it has given me now, I would like number one. I'll not even do number one. It will understand what I'm saying. The tone should be friendly yet being professional, because should not be too much being friendly yet professional. So any specific reasons for or consequences you'd like to highlight for not collecting any jobs? Okay, any jobs not retrieved a month after the completion might attract or would attract a 10% increase in the initial what's it called, in the initial bill or amounts in the initial bill given before. That's another one. So no benefits. Let's take the benefit. Any specific deadlines. So the deadline for job completion should be a maximum of 2 weeks after the job has been completed. So let's see what's going to give us now. Fantastic. Sorry. So you can see for now, it's a friendly reminder, timely collection and payments for your photography jobs. Dear client name, we hope this message finds you well. We wanted to take a moment to express our gratitude for choosing. You can see it helps you to first get their attention towards appreciating the clients, right? So you are creating that feel of, you are not just trying to get them to pay, but you appreciate them. So you can see, say it, I explore, our gratitude for choosing to capture your precious moments through our photography services. Your trust and support mean the world to us. And then it went further to say, as part of our commitment to providing exceptional service, we strive to ensure that your experience with us is as smooth and convenient as possible. To help us achieve this, we kindly request your cooperation in two important aspects: timely collection of your completed jobs and prompt payment of any outstanding balances. We understand that life can be busy and schedules can be hectic. However, we kindly remind you that our policy states that completed jobs should be collected within a maximum of 2 weeks after the job has been completed. This allows us to efficiently manage our workflow and ensure that we can promptly attend to the needs of all our valued clients. Additionally, we kindly request that any outstanding balances be settled in a timely manner. To encourage timely payment, please note that any jobs not retrieved within a month after completion will be subject to a 10% increase in the initial bill. We believe this policy is fair and necessary to sustain the quality of our services and continue delivering exceptional experiences to all our clients. Your understanding and cooperation in adhering to these guidelines are greatly appreciated. If you have any questions or concerns regarding job collection, payment deadlines, or any other matter, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, where we are here to assist you in any way we can. Once again, thank you for choosing us as your photography partner. We look forward to continuing to serve you and capturing beautiful moments, memories together. So this actually, you can see from this, defining a problem, identifying what you want to do, and then feeding the AI with everything that you intend to do with it will actually give you, everything you need in terms of how you want to be incorporating, ChatGPT into your business. So there are a lot of things you can do with it. And the more you explore with it, you understand, the further you can be able to get, much and most of, AIs. So I would love us to stop here. It's already 9:36. So I would like us to start making use of the chat box, because I would like us to close by, let's say, 9:45. So any questions and answer that we might have, please let's drop it in, and then any other ones that we are not able to answer, we'll be able to commence, what's it called? We'll continue rather on our created and platform, which is our WhatsApp. All right, so please let's start dropping messages if there are questions that we have. So I'll be going through questions and answer for the next few minutes now. So we close 9:45, and then we'll be closing the stream. So all right, so if you have question, this is the time you can be able to, show. Okay, so Triumph Design is saying, I don't mind if you can show us how you created the flyer design for the class. So for the flyer for the class was done on Photoshop. So we have, because we are going to be commencing on the how it was done now. I can just give us an overview, and it's still in same guidelines to what I already mentioned to us before, of how I initially crafted out, the design. Do you understand, in terms of keeping to alignment? But I'm going to show us a brief, but If I'm going to cover that, it's going to be a long conversations for us. So let me just open and then go into the creatives and then be able to show us. So this initial design, right, is actually, this is on, it's still same thing. So what I'll just tell you is that, yes, okay, let me be, okay, so for this now, so this is just plainly Photoshop, and same thing that I did here on on Photoshop, I can replicate what I did here on Canva, except for few touches. The few touches is going to be light effects. Canva has not incorporate. So I'm saying Canva as a vector-based platform. Do you understand? So Photoshop is a raster, is a raster program in terms of it deals with pixels. It deals with rastered images. You can be able to do some effects that you might not be able to do with Canva on it in terms of manipulations. You might not be able to manipulate on Canva, but you can manipulate on, on Photoshop. So for instance, now you will see that for this image, I have some glows, but don't worry, we are going to be having a class that I'll be taking us through, that is going to be extended class of how you can create flyers like this on Photoshop. Very soon I'll be releasing a course on that very soon, or a program for us to jump into that, because it's a whole lot. There are a whole lot of things if we are going to talk about this in terms of light effects, glows, bounce, light rays, and everything. But don't worry, we'll cover that later. Probably once the class, we can talk about the class later on our group chat, and then we can have a breakdown and then also comments on other things that we have done so far. Okay, so can you use ChatGPT to create design ideas? Definitely. That's my favorite part. Because the time has gone, I cannot just give you a whole lot of things I've used ChatGPT for. But I have a good news I'll be making once it is 9:45 for us, for anybody that is interested. So number one, ChatGPT can create design ideas. There's not, like, I don't think of anything that I want to take. Let's take I'm currently working on a design for a real estate company. Or let me, cause if this is quite broad, let me refine. I'm working on a design theme, the resurrection of Jesus. Can you suggest to me directions I can take to bring to life the design, the theme of the design? So you see what it's going to, I just want to do this briefly. So you can create a whole lot of, just give it information that you want. Do you understand? And then it gets you what you want to do. You can see what it's giving me. So for instance now, it's designed around the theme, the resurrection of Jesus offers a rich, profound subject matter to explore. Here are several directions you could consider to bring this theme to life. There are some designs I do that I'll first, gather ideas from AI, then I start implementing, putting my own creativity. You can see symbolism of light. The resurrection is often associated with the triumph of light over darkness. Incorporate symbolism of light, such as rays of sunlight breaking through clouds, sunrise or dawn scenes, or candles representing the light of Christ. This one is saying transformational renewal. You can see biblical imagery, draw inspiration from biblical imagery associated with the resurrection, such as the empty tomb. You can see this is actually what you notice is common. Draw inspiration from biblical imagery, such as the empty tomb, the folded burial clothes. You can see that where those things are coming from. The presence of angels or scenes of Jesus appearing to his disciples. You can see that. So this is exactly what this you can do in terms of generating ideas from ChatGPT. Time has gone. I would have showed us. I wanted to show us. Probably we'll have kind of a part two out of this, because I wanted to cover how you can generate images with prompts. I wanted to give us prompts you can use, but nevertheless I will be announcing something to us by 9:45 if any of us is interested in. So let me look through the comment section again. Can you use ChatGPT to create design ideas? Yes, definitely. That is done. So excellent delivered, sir. Can we use AI ChatGPT to create detailed design like some AI clone pictures? Definitely. I use this image. Let me now burst your bubbles. This image you are seeing here, I actually generated this image here using AI. And let me just briefly glance towards, even if I'm not going to cover it, let me give us a clue. So I make use, there's Midjourney, where you use from prompt to image generation, and then we have other platforms which you can also use, AI platforms you can use. But I've made use of paid version of Midjourney before, and then I've used some other AI platforms. There are some even tutorials I covered on AI. If that was part of what I recommended for us, I know that some of us did not actually catch up with the video. There are some videos I've made that covers that. But for this, there's another free one I want to introduce us to. So this is actually Bing. So we can all go into bing.com. I'll give us the link to this site. It's actually by Microsoft. So this is where you can be able to create free images. They will give you some points here. My own point is remaining 24. I can be able to copy, and then let's say I want to generate any image. A black man having a photo shoot on the streets of Lagos. I can define the shot, close shots, and then just hit enter. So this will actually start. I just gave this as an example of prompt you can use to be able to. There are many prompts I'll just give us briefly. Do you understand? So let's just wait for what this is going to actually create for us. All right, here we go, guys. So this is actually what we get. I'm going to be saving this image and share with us on what we did. You can see, if I click on this, you will see, the images that it's actually, so you can download the image. This is actually free. This is paid, but they have paid version, but this is actually free. And then we can still be able to get a detailed picture out of, even the free version. So what's it called? The network is quite slow, but we can see the image here, right? So this is the image that it was able to come up with. So you can click on the image and download, right? And then just make use of. So let me just scroll down and show us something. The image I actually use in our design, which was created. Let me see recent creations. Let me scroll down to my creations, explore ideas. Uh, so let me enter my own creation so you can be able to see the image that we had on our design was initially created using this same platform. I use Bing to create that same image of that black. I'm not sure, it's not keeping the history of the past. So I actually use this image to create that image on the design of that communication design of that banner we posted. So all right, guys, we've come to the end of the class. So if there's any other question you still want to ask, please let's make use of the what's it called, our group, to ask any question we might be having. So before we actually end the class, so during the course of preparing for the class, I thought of some ideas for things that might be and what's it called, what designers actually struggle with starting out, because I was once there before. I know how intimidating and overwhelming some tasks can be. So I was thinking about this, and then I thought that if I can be able to create a short ebook for you guys to be able to explore. So the ebook has design proportion, the ebook has color psychology. It has no it's even it has some colors which you can start using. It has some resources, links you can start using, where you can get images from, AI images, and links that you can quickly start accessing and start generating content from. So that is about the what's it called. So I'm going to bring up the image. So the name of the what's it called is actually that's I'm coming. I want to bring up the file for us to be able to see. So it's called yes. So let me see if we can be able to see my screen now. All right. So it's called Resource Toolkit for Designers. So this actually has, if you scroll into the contents, and then you see we have using design principles. I cover fonts, sans serif and serif font you can start using in your design. It has useful links you can start using, links you can take you to, stock images, pictures, videos you can start using. It has some colors you can start incorporating in your design. And also it has a question that was asked. It has an answer to the question of, can I the question that was asked, that can I use AI to create design and image? So do you understand? So this ebook has the contents. Do you understand? So if anybody is interested in this, what's it called? So I'm giving this out in just a fee of 1,000 naira. So it's not compulsory, but should in case anybody needs this, but I believe it's something that is going to really help anyone that's just starting out as a designer. So it's just that I want us to be able to appreciate the effort that was put into creating this material, because it is a material that can be sold for close to 7,000, even 10,000 naira, because of the value it has. But because of this class, and then because of the aim of the Patience Academy to also be a free platform, so if you are interested, it's going to be just 1,000 naira if you are interested. So I will share the link with us on our chat because the time has gone. So I'll check the link with us on our group. If anybody is interested in getting the book, it's just for 1,000 naira. You can be able to get the ebook, and then you can explore a whole lot of, and what's it called, ideas that this book has to offer, and how this book can actually get you started making use of what you have learned, and make you get, take off that, and that what's it called, idea of you have to brainstorm and brainstorm before you start using colors and then text you start using. So it has everything covered for you. So if anyone is interested, I'll share the link with us, and then take us to where you can be able to purchase it. It's just 1,000 naira for anyone that's here. So going forward, I'm not sure if the price might change. I'm not sure if it might get increased, apart from what it already is, but for now it's going to be 1,000 naira. So I'm going to share the link with us on our group chat so we can pick it up and then implement. So thank you all for joining the class. So for any updates, any question that you might have, you can actually send it to us via chats. So thank you so much, guys. If there's any question you have, please reach out to us on the group chats where we'll be able to answer. All right, see you all. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so this will be the end of the class. Thank you, guys.